It's Jamal Bryan with AVNation with an AVNation special. The road to ISE Integrated Systems Europe comes your way from Barcelona the 10th through the 13th of May. And with me to talk about their stand, we call them stands over in Europe, is my buddy Mr. Taft Strickland from Just Add Power. Welcome, sir.
Hello, how are you?
I am well.
Yeah.
You guys are in Hall 5, Hall 5P as in Paul 600, 5P 600. Taft, it has been a minute since we've gotten together, especially at ISE, but we walk into the Just Add Power booth. What are we going to find?
Well, we'll be showing off our warp engine, which we showed off at Infocom,
Yep.
and that will allow you to pivot video 360 degrees, so you can hang your panels however you want, or your displays however you want, and you can move them in fractional degree increments. So that's going to be pretty cool. I believe we're going to have an accelerometer on it like we did at Infocom, so you can walk up and spin a display and watch the video stay upright. So that's cool. Very specific type of installation for something like that, whether it's something you want to spin live or a set it and forget it type of spin piece. And then our max color shipping, we have inventory. It has been a phenomenal kickoff. 4K 60 444 over CAT. And we've got Dolby Vision, supporting all the HDR formats, and it is source to screen. So if your source is, 4K 60, blah 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 with Dolby Vision, pixel for pixel is what you're getting on the other end on a gigabit network. And then the final thing that's new for us is our AMP software. So we have AMP VLAN, which would work with specific switches. And then our new AMP software works with tons of switches. You may have heard the term that I'm tired of hearing, but you've heard supply chain.
Yes.
And in order to just get a whole ton of switches, certified, approved, plug and play, click a couple buttons and you're off to the races. That's where AMP comes into play, the new software. So those are the things we're doing.
So one of the things that we've learned over the years about Just Add Power is the fact that not only are you guys able to deliver on a number of different promises, including the AV over IP, whether that's residential, commercial, digital signage. The other thing though is you make your products kind of backwards compatible regardless. So talk for a second about the importance of that as you talk with this week it's going to be, or this next week it's going to be at ISE for the European market, but also for the American market and beyond.
Yeah. So being forward and backward compatible is pretty important. Also, having a seamless experience is something we've always strived for. So we'll talk about seamless first, and then we'll talk about backward compatibility because they kind of go hand in hand. So you have a source that's 4K 60 444. It looks phenomenal. And you want to squeeze every single pixel and every single bit out of that thing because we're supporting 36-bit color. So you want to squeeze everything out of that. But there's other plans for you. Maybe one's supply chain. Maybe you ended up with a projector that won't do 4K 60 444 in the mix. Or maybe you ended up buying some commercial displays that don't fully support 4K 60 444. Well, we can take whatever the source is and send the best quality video that any screen will take to each screen. So you can mix and match screens that are 4K 60 444, 4K 60 420. You could have screens that are 4K 30. And wait, you can even have screens that are 1080p mixed in the mix. All right. Since we support all of that, being able to make things backwards compatible, it's one additional step for us when you're mixing our max color with our traditional 3G product. And that is, it's the same switch, it's the same cabling, it's the same drivers. But if you're mixing those two environments, you'll need a couple of bridge pieces on the network to be able to kind of finalize everything with with resolution and HDCP and so on and so forth. If you're just going with max color, you can have any screen you want, and we're going to give you the best video we can possibly give you on every screen. So a lot of folks play lowest common denominator, and once I plug this in, then the honeymoon's over. And for us, we want to have, the best possible honeymoon with every device there.
Well, and see that
So,
that's important because you're right, because a lot of folks will go lowest common denominator. What is the
mhm,
lowest resolution?
yep.
What is the lowest resolution screen? The
Yep.
ability to send that though individually is really, really
Mhm.
important.
Just had an integrator call me freaking out because they're on a project, and at the very last minute, it's a commercial project. The very last minute, the person running the project that owns the business walks in and says, "Hey, I got these four TVs last year, and they're 4K, and this is where I want them hung. I want to add it on." And so he called and said, "What do I do? Because we're looking at the spec." And I was like, "Just when you do the setup, just tell it what the resolution is." And he was like, "Does it mess everything else up?" And I said, "No, it doesn't at all." And he was like, "Wow, when did this happen?"
Well, see,
So,
that's the thing, right? It is, and I don't want to take too much time on this, but that experience is so common that that was his
mhm.
initial default response, right?
Yeah, his default is something bad's going to happen, and I'm going to look like a fool.
Yeah,
And instead, it was he went to the customer and said, "This is not what we would normally hang. These are less expensive TVs. We can still do full res on these, and then we can do what matches up with these as far as best quality." And was kind of able to pat himself on the back for taking, yeah, a monkey wrench, thrown into the spokes of the wheel, and just go, "Hey, no, 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 we're fine, we're fine."
yeah, we're fine.
So, yeah, but that was interesting. It was like 3 weeks ago, and then I got a phone call back from his cell phone. It was somebody else's voice, and I was like, "Hello," and he was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, I am." "Are you really sure?" "Yeah, I am." "Are you sure?" I said, rather than saying, "Are you sure?" or "Can you hear me now?" I was like, can you just jump in and look and click what you've got?" And so he was like, "Hold on, let me grab my laptop." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're sure? This is cool. All right, this is cool." So, fun stuff.
Yeah,
Very fun
absolutely.
stuff.
All
We're
right.
looking forward to ISE. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
So, yeah,
Absolutely. It has been a while. I don't know when the last time all of us have been together with ISE. I guess 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
yeah.
So that'll be fun. All right, you guys are in Hall 5P as in Paul 600. Hall 5P 600. Don't ask me where it is. It's all of our first time at the FIRA. So let's just kind of all jump in together. Taft, if somebody's not going to ISE, but they want to follow along with everything that you'll be talking about next week, how do they
Yeah.
do that?
So our website's pretty easy. It's justaddpower.com. And then we have that exact handle for all the socials, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it may be. But that's where you'll find us.
All right, very good. Taft
All
Strickland
right.
from Just Add Power. We'll see him, Hall 5P600. For us, for AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv, and follow along as we also head to ISE 2022 from Barcelona, the 10th through the 13th of May. All that and more at avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.